There's no doubt that Iron Mike is the best boxer in the world. Even today, his left hook can make even the toughest people feel so scared they can't move. Tyson was a real fighter all the way through. Almost every time he fought, he did something that killed his opponent, and his consistent style made his fights even more fun to watch. You can see some of the most famous moments from the baddest man on the planet's professional boxing career, like when he became the youngest world champion ever, or when he lost his belt in Tokyo for no apparent reason. Before the fight, you can kill time by getting comfortable, taking a trip down memory lane, or getting excited about the return of one of the most famous boxers of all time. Number 10. Tyson vs. Eddie Richardson, 1985. Richardson tried to dodge Tyson's punches throughout the fight, which was a smart move given how powerful Tyson was, but he was still knocked down just 8 seconds after the fight started. After about a minute of the fight, a left punch to the body knocked him out cold, and that was the end of that. Number 9. Tyson vs. Frank Bruno, 1989. In February 1989, Tyson fought the famous British heavyweight Frank Bruno for the heavyweight titles held by the WBA, WBC, IBF, and Lineal organizations. The fight was supposed to happen at Wembley Stadium, but it was moved to the United States because Mike Tyson was having personal problems at the time. The fight got off to a quick start, with the British challenger doing well in the first few rounds. Nevertheless, Tyson swiftly established himself, and the referee called the fight off after the 5th round. Before his controversial bout with Buster Douglas in 1990, Tyson boxed one more time in 1989 against Carl Williams. This match happened before Douglas's match. Even though Bruno landed a lot of punches during his fight and even knocked Tyson down for the first time in his professional career, by the 5th round, Bruno was pretty much out of the fight. He lost the fight because he was knocked out in the 5th round. Number 8. Tyson vs. Tony Tucker. It could be said that this was one of the hardest fights Mike Tyson ever had. Tucker won the first few rounds, but Tyson quickly got in shape and started copying Tucker's moves, which led him to winning the fight and getting the judges' approval. Number 7. Tyson vs. Marvis Frazier. The boxing writers who followed Tyson's rise to prominence made a huge issue out of the fact that Marvis' father, Joe Frazier, insisted that his son would attack Tyson from the beginning rather than try to box his way into later rounds. And because of his plan, the press said a lot of bad things about Smokin' Joe. Yet, if that was indeed the strategy, Tyson promptly dismantled it like a piece of paper. It made no difference which strategy Marvis might have chosen to use. He made a bad choice by getting into the ring. Did Frazier move enough? Well, he moved from the near ropes into a corner where Tyson pounced and hit him with a lightning-fast right uppercut. He went from being near the ropes to being in a corner. Frazier fell to his knees after getting hit a few more times. He then sat on the floor while the count went on. When it became clear that he wasn't going to wake up, the fight was stopped. Number 6. Tyson vs. Tyrell Biggs, 1987. Before this important fight, Olympic medalist Tyrell said things like, "He's never fought anyone like me, and he's strong. Every fighter I fight is stronger than me." But he also said, "As the fight goes on, as I use my mobility and boxing skills, strength is no longer an issue." So what will he do then? Tyrell's quickness helped him for a while, but he was ultimately unable to overcome Tyson's power and was knocked out via a technical knockout. Number 5. Tyson vs. Henry Tillman, 1990. After his last fight, in which James Douglas beat him and took away his undisputed heavyweight title, Tyson came back to fight Tillman in a match called The Journey Back. Around 2 minutes and 47 seconds into the first round, Tillman did his best to avoid Tyson's blows, but he was eventually knocked out. This is when Tyson was introduced to the public. His unusual story was told in great detail, including his troubled childhood, how he was found by the legendary trainer Cus D'Amato, and how their relationship became more like that of a guardian and ward than that of a trainer and fighter. Both Tyson's style and his level of development were lacking at the time, so he was unable to compete successfully in amateur bouts. During the Olympic trials, Tillman was able to mess up Tyson's performance, and Mike's performance did not get better during the US Olympic box offs. But Tyson's managers knew that he would become a more important professional. If he'd won the gold medal in Los Angeles, it would have been beneficial for his marketing. Yet, they were aware that they had fantastic potential with an interesting tale. It was only a matter of time before he became well known. Number 4. Tyson vs. Larry Holmes, 1988. In January 1988, Mike Tyson won a technical knockout over former heavyweight champion Larry Holmes in the 4th round. After Michael Spinks beat Holmes twice in a row, Holmes, who was 38 at the time, said he was done with boxing and stopped doing it. But he agreed to come out of retirement to fight Tyson in Atlantic City, which was a big deal. Holmes said as he signed up for the fight, "They took my title, so I had to come back." But Tyson won again with ease, showing that he was still the best heavyweight fighter. Despite what Holmes said, Tyson won the fight. Holmes couldn't keep up with Tyson, who was younger and faster, so he was knocked out by a stunning blow from Tyson too soon. Number 3. Tyson vs. Pinklin Thomas, 1987. The first 5 rounds of this fight weren't very exciting, but the 6th round was a masterclass in how to box without getting knocked out. Tyson threw a lot of blows at Pinklin, which he took like he was punching a brick wall, which is to his credit. Still, after getting hit 15 times in a row, Pinklin gave up and lost the fight. Number 2. Tyson vs. Michael Spinks, 1988. Even though Spinks had a perfect record of 31-0 up to this point in his career, Tyson knocked him out and put him to sleep in less than a minute. Spinks had no chance of being the winner. As soon as the bell rang for the first round of their boxing match, Mike Tyson began to bother Michael Spinks. Spinks was knocked down twice in the first round because of how hard he worked on him. In 1988, Mike Tyson beat Michael Spinks in a fight that was considered to be one of his most important wins. Both fighters went into the match with perfect records and claims that they are the best heavyweights in the world at the moment. Even though Tyson had all 3 official championships, Ring Magazine said that Spinks was the lineal champion and that he was the best fighter of his time. In the same fight, Tyson won all 3 titles. As soon as the bell rang to start the first round, Tyson went after Spinks with all his might, and in an amazing display of brute force, he knocked Spinks down twice. After the second knockdown, it was clear that Spinks wouldn't get up in time for the count, so Tyson was given the win. Number 1. Tyson vs. Trevor Berbick, 1986. On November 22, 1986, a young and inexperienced Mike fought Trevor Berbick and knocked him out in 2 minutes and 35 seconds with a series of left hooks that left him dazed and confused. In 1986, when Tyson knocked out Trevor Berbick, he became the youngest heavyweight champion ever. He still holds this record. From the first second of the fight, Tyson had full control over Berbick. The fight was stopped in the second round because Tyson got a technical knockout. This gave him the win. It was another example of how powerful Tyson's punches were, and his victory in Las Vegas, Nevada was just one of many important nights in his long and successful career. Thank you so much for watching this video. Stay tuned for more.